and welcome to this very special episode of the Simply Great Relationships podcast. We're so glad you could join us today because we have a great episode for you. I'm Marina Varon, and with me as always is Meredith Silversmith, and today we're talking all about Valentine's Day.
Woohoo!
I'm a big fan of Valentine's Day. So we'll be covering why celebrate Valentine's Day expectations versus realities, turning up your romantic connection, and Valentine's Day gifts that are much more meaningful than your basic chocolate and roses.
Yeah. Good episode. I like this.
Yeah.
Very timely. Very timely. You know, I was joking last week. I don't know if you experienced this too, Marina, but I love all of my clients. Like you, I think you know that. We both, let's just put that out there, that we both love all of our clients. And last week, I had a lot of couples that I was meeting with, and pretty much every single one wanted to talk about Valentine's Day. So I feel like this is a really great episode to get out there to everybody to kind of set them up for success. So I'm glad we're doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of expectations and stuff that like bubbles up when it comes to Valentine's Day.
So let's talk about it. Why celebrate Valentine's Day? Because I think that's very much on people's minds. There are some really bad reasons to celebrate.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I think doing it for the gram, doing it to post it on your social media, real bad reason.
Yep, for the highlight reel, not a good idea.
Yeah, really, really bad. Doing it because, you know, social expectations, you're supposed to celebrate it when you're in a relationship. Like any of those supposed tos or shoulds. Another really bad reason, when you signed your marriage license, there wasn't a clause in there that says must celebrate Valentine's Day each year.
No.
Another bad reason.
Yeah. And I think not, how do I say this? If you don't feel loved in your relationship, celebrating Valentine's Day to fulfill that, it's not a good reason to celebrate.
Yeah, almost like looking for that grand gesture. I think sometimes when people are feeling unloved in their relationship, like they're looking for this grand gesture to show them that they are.
Yep.
And I can definitely see how like Valentine's Day will set up like this unrealistic expectation, because the reality is that like feeling loved comes from small things often, as opposed to like grand gestures and droughts.
Yep. Definitely.
So if you're celebrating for any of those reasons, you need a bit of an attitude change, a bit of a paradigm shift.
And we hope to get to that today.
Yeah. So what are some good reasons to celebrate Valentine's Day now that we've poo-pooed all bad reasons?
I think it's an opportunity to connect. You know, I think of it almost like a second anniversary in a way. There was an episode we did, I don't remember when, but we'll link it in the show notes, about why it's important to celebrate your anniversary. And this is pretty similar. You know, it's an opportunity to connect and like celebrate your love and your relationship and create a little romance.
Yeah, I think putting a spotlight on romance, you know, knowing that some intimacies come in your way, planning that together, co-creating like a sensual experience together, great reason to celebrate Valentine's Day.
It's an opportunity to prioritize your relationship, right? In the hustle and bustle of everyday life and everything that's going on. It's, you know, we love any excuse to put your relationship in the number one spot. So this is just another good one.
Yeah, and I especially love putting the sexy in the number one spot. So I think Valentine's Day is a really, really good reason to kind of press the refresh or reboot button on the sexy if the sexy's been kind of dwindling away. I think that's another great reason to celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Bring a bit of that sexy back.
Yeah, for sure. How do you and George celebrate Valentine's Day?
So usually Valentine's Day is very close to our wedding anniversary. So we usually do like a big celebration. We'll go out for dinner. We'll maybe do a show. We like plan a big kind of night of it. We usually celebrate, like we'll do like a smaller celebration if it's midweek, but then we'll like have a big celebration on the weekend. And then if it falls on the weekend, we'll usually like make a weekend out of it and maybe go get some couples massages and go for some drinks and go for a nice dinner, maybe go for a show that we've wanted to see, maybe go to some art gallery, something like that. This year, though, you know, this is our first Valentine's Day / anniversary with baby. So it's going to be, we have some plans and we're going to do like a little bit of a more daytime focused Valentine's Day with the baby, go for some nice brunch, go for a walk, maybe go to a museum, and then hopefully we can get a sitter and have some alone time.
Yeah, that sounds good.
What about you guys?
Well, Tom and I aren't the best Valentine's Day celebrators, I think, because I know I'm going to get in trouble this week. Because we work a lot. I know you guys do too, but we work a lot, and for some reason it's just kind of always been that we've both ended up working late or, you know, just long hours on Valentine's Day or around it, and I'm realizing now it's because it's tax season and that's why he's always super busy. I don't know why that just hit me. So we tend to do like a distance celebration where, you know, we send like a little gift. So, you know, to the office or to the house or whatever, when we're physically not together on Valentine's Day, we'll acknowledge it with, you know, flowers are nice. I'm not super into flowers, so I usually get some sort of snack or treat that I like. So that'll hopefully come my way tomorrow. But if it doesn't, that's okay. Let me preface it with that.
But I'm wondering if, like, because you guys nurture your relationship all year long, if it's okay that Valentine's Day is, like, not this giant production.
Yeah.
Right? Because your relationship gets a lot of TLC.
Right. Like, there's not a whole lot of pressure or expectations around Valentine's Day for us. Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's to us, it's another day, but every day is an opportunity. So we don't need it to be February 14th to do those things.
So let's touch on something you said, the expectations versus reality, because I think like there are so many expectations constructed around Valentine's Day, and I think you can just like walking into a drugstore and seeing like aisles of pink and red and hearts and teddy bears is great evidence of that. From your work with couples, like what are the most common kind of expectations that you hear people express around celebrating Valentine's Day?
I hear a lot about, you know, the boyfriend, husband planning something, doing something, creating some experience for the wife or girlfriend. There's sort of this sense of, well, I do it all year long, so today you can, you know, this one day a year you can do it for me, and creating some sort of, you know, either dinner plans or getting a babysitter lined up, flowers and chocolate, sort of like that traditional, like if you think of Valentine's Day, what words come to mind? I would say like everything around that. What about for you?
I've heard couples talk about, like, you know, when you go out for dinner and there's this couple sitting at a couple of tables away that are having like that silent dinner and they don't talk to each other and they look really disconnected, it's like, God forbid, don't let us turn into that couple. We can't have that kind of dinner. Like, we need to have this romantic dinner where we're gazing into each other's eyes and we're not talking about kids or work or stress. So this one day a year, we become completely different people than we are the other 364, right? That like this day, for some reason, we're so emotionally attuned and engaged and have this amazing romantic dinner, and we're not that silent couple.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure. Like these expectations, and I mean, this is something I found myself saying quite a bit last week, like these expectations they just set you up for failure. It's especially if it's very far off from the usual sort of like status of your relationship or how things are. Having these expectations, like it's okay to have wants and needs, but to have these sort of grandiose, in some ways, hopes for the night or the day, and then like have what happens with many couples that I know who don't communicate them to their partner. So the partner just kind of like blindly going through the day or the week like it's any other, and the one with the expectations has all these things in their head. It can be a little tough. It's pretty much setting up for disappointment.
Yeah, I think this is a good moment to just remind everybody, because I think this is a really important reminder. Your partner's not a psychic. Valentine's Day, no different.
Nope.
Your partner is not going to turn into a psychic and all of a sudden know all your wants and needs if you haven't verbalized them on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
What about, like, how do we make a great reality? Like, how do we embrace reality and enjoy it and not feel disappointed without setting expectations?
Well, I think I mean, you and I talk a lot about intention and sort of what your intention is. So if your intention is that you're going to go in and be disappointed, if you expect to be disappointed, you will be, because you're going to be looking through glasses that point out all the reasons why you should be disappointed, versus if you go in expecting to feel great and expecting it to be great, not amazing, grandiose great, but like I'm gonna enjoy myself. You will probably go in and enjoy yourself. Like I think a big part of it is the personal sort of like intention you put on it.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you set the intention to like that Valentine's Day is a time where you get to enjoy. It's not about like all the fluff. It's about actually being present in your relationship and being intentional about enjoying it. You're likely to get that. If you're expecting all the fluff, all the external stuff, like what does that stuff even mean? What's the value of that stuff?
Yeah.
If there isn't that attunement behind it. And yeah, I think there's a huge like attitude component here. You need to go in with an attitude of like, I'm grateful for my relationship, an attitude of love, an attitude of pleasure, and mostly like an attitude of open-mindedness to the experience. Because like, if I think about, some of the best memories George and I have, they're not at these like grandiose dinners or at these like mega events. Like we've had such amazing times, like going for a walk in Brooklyn Bridge Park, and that's it. And it was just like a really great experience because we were both kind of open to this wonderful experience without setting any intention or pressure on it. So if you can go in with that like open mind, open heart kind of mentality, and your only expectation is to be open to what the evening brings and being kind of positive towards receiving it. And I know this all sounds a little fluffy, but it's not. It's really like that mind shift that allows you to really enjoy your present, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe to give everyone some concretes on how to achieve this, like get clear on how you want to feel. Right? So rather than what you want to do or how you want, what experience you want to have, like I want to go out to dinner or I want to get this present or I want to, say I love you or I want to make sure we have sex, like go into it like how do I want to feel today? And communicate that to your partner. Right? Like it's Valentine's Day tomorrow and it's really important to me that I feel loved and connected to you. Here are some ways that I would feel loved and connected to you. If you reach out to me in the middle of the day, I would feel really thought of. If you brought me home flowers, I would feel really loved. If we, like connected to the feeling, because it's not about the stuff and the, the what and the where. It's about how you want to feel and sharing that with your partner, because that's what it's really about.
Yeah, and also being open-minded to the fact that like just because you shared that doesn't mean your partner is going to execute on that, but they may execute on something different that is their intention to make you feel loved, but you're so scanning for the things you're like stuck on that you're missing the wonderful things they're doing for you because they're not meeting your check boxes. So it's also about like being open-minded and open-hearted to like, well, my partner did make a dinner reservation. So what if it's not at the restaurant I want? It's still effort they put in. Or my partner didn't get me a gift, but they wrote me such a beautiful card, and I can tell that they really put like so much emotion and truth and honesty behind it. So what did they didn't get you a gift? They did this other really wonderful thing for you. So it's like being open-minded and accepting to those gestures also, like anything that's putting deposits in the emotional bank account, right? Like we need to scan for those and notice those.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder, Marina, from your perspective, or, how do you think couples can go about like turning more of a focus on the romantic connection tomorrow?
So I think, again, set the intention. Set the intention to do that. Like nothing wrong or unsexy about being intentional and like scheduling it and knowing that it's a part of your day tomorrow. There's a great bonus with episode 10, I believe, how to have a sexy reminiscent conversation on date night. That's a really, really, I love that bonus. I think it's really nice to go through that on Valentine's Day if you need like a little bit of almost like a verbal foreplay. But I think it's about setting the intention, and it's about going to a place of comfort in your relationship. If maybe there hasn't been a whole lot of intimacy, like don't set the intention to have the hottest night you've ever had in your life. Set the intention to like maybe have an intimate massage, maybe take a bath together or take a shower together, something like that. If your sex life's been going great, maybe set the intention to explore some fantasy. I know we have a menu exercise. We'll link the bonus below. I don't remember what number bonus that is. But, like think about how's it been going and what's like that sprinkling of something special that you can intentionally put into your day tomorrow.
Yeah, those are great suggestions. So, if we think about gifts, because gifts can become a part of Valentine's Day, right? So the traditional like chocolate and roses, and that's very nice. But, let's talk a little bit about gifts that might be a little non-traditional, or gifts that really show your desire to connect with your partner.
Sure. I mean, I love both chocolate and roses. Do not want to put those down in any ways, but I think that there are gifts that can be like so on point that really like don't require a ton of effort, but again, have huge payoff, huge reward. And I think the common thread between all these gifts that we're going to talk about is that they show your partner that you want to connect with them.
Yeah.
That you didn't just go to like CVS and picks up a box of chocolates and some roses at the corner store and that's it. That like you really sat there, thought about like, this is about us, not about my partner binging on chocolates.
Yeah, absolutely.
So something that I absolutely love is like IOU vouchers that make your partner feel really loved. So like think about what your partner really likes. Do they really like massages? Do they really like foot rubs? Do they really like shoulder rubs? Do they really like when you make them a specific dinner? Do they really like when you vacuum their car? Whatever it is, right? Like I can name 10 things George really likes when I do. Like make vouchers for those because that communicates, hey, I know you and I know this is what would make you happy. Make cute little vouchers. I'm sure if you Google cute little voucher for Valentine's Day template, something will come up.
Yeah. I love that one.
I think that's a great one, yeah.
I love that. Another one I know would be like just writing a letter, right? It could even be like filling out a card, but writing a letter expressing your own feelings, right? Like your loving feelings or appreciation for your partner, because that's something that, you know, we preach a lot about saying those things and verbalizing those things in the day-to-day, but often it goes unsaid. So using this as an opportunity to get them out and get them in writing and to, you know, share that with your partner is a huge deposit in the emotional bank account. And, you know, it's a tangible thing so your partner can hold on to it, you know, and read it and reread it and, you know, have it forever. So I think that's really nice.
Yeah, what a like beautiful sentiment and what a great way to like put some cushioning in your relationship. Like imagine you're feeling down or you just had a fight or, you know, it's just kind of a hard time in your relationship and you're able to go back to that letter and read it.
Yeah.
How do you feel then?
Yeah.
I think it's that letter probably has so much more value than like people attribute to it.
Another favorite of mine, which I think is funny, would be like a modern day mixtape. So back in the day, we used to, you know, burn CDs, but now you could just create an iTunes playlist with like songs that make you think of your partner or songs that just make you feel connected and share that with him or her. I think is really lovely because music, like there's a lot of emotion I think in music. So for people who maybe have a harder time writing the letter, to do something like that, like using someone else's words, is still impactful.
Yeah, for sure. What would be some songs that would go on your mixtape?
Definitely a wedding song, which I like. It's Dave Matthews, You and Me. Oh my gosh. I don't know. We have some funny songs that we like. We like weird songs. We like Peter Frampton, Baby I Love Your Way. We've got a quite eclectic taste. So songs like that.
That's awesome. I love that. That's such a like nice sentiment, and I definitely remember that feeling of getting a mixtape. And this is really like the modern day version of it. I think it's great. Another one for couples that are really looking to like kind of lift the sexy up, elevate the sexy, like maybe take it to the next level. Exchange fantasy jars. You know, take 2 jars, containers, envelopes, whatever vessels you want, and take a piece of paper and write out like little fantasies. And again, a fantasy doesn't need to be a story with a beginning, middle, and end. It can be a tiny snippet, right? It can be something you want to try. It can be something you've done that hasn't been around for a while. And just write those, crumple them up, put them in the jar, have your partner write them, crumple them up, put them in their jar, and exchange jars. And then set a time where maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, or alternate weeks, one of you takes one out of each jar. And, you know, if all you do is talk about it, at least you talked about it, right? Like, at least there is that sexy dialogue about what kind of fantasies and desires live in your relationship. If you try it, wonderful. If you try it and it becomes a staple, even better, right?
Yeah.
So something like that, I love that because it's something that's ongoing. It's something that deals with fantasy. It's something that fosters communication, and it's something that fosters like good, healthy, sexy intimacy. Again, very, very little cost and very little barrier to doing this.
Yeah. So I think the theme here is to, you know, think beyond the traditional and think, you know, think of what does our relationship need right now, right? Like, where do we need more connection? Where do we need more of a, you know, deposit in the bank account? And put a little extra energy there. Use this as an opportunity to do that. You know, we're going through all of these things and we're hoping to set everyone up for success. But I know there's going to be couples who have a hard time tomorrow. Either something doesn't go well or they had a hard time with the expectations, you know, balancing the expectations and reality. Something will go off track and maybe they're struggling to get back on track. So, you know, just keep in mind that the quickest way to do so is probably to work directly with us. You know, we do work with a lot of couples providing coaching and, you know, really in some circumstances being proactive and preventing some of these challenges, and in others repairing afterwards. So you can certainly send us an email at info@simplygreatrelationships.com or call or text us at 914-440-4814. Or go to our website, simplygreatrelationships.com, and submit a request there because we want to help you.
So let's talk takeaways. What's your takeaway about Valentine's Day?
My takeaway, I was feeling kind of, I don't know if negative's a stronger word than I need, but kind of like, I don't know, like, oh, we're not good at celebrating Valentine's Day, you know, but I'm taking away your reframe that we make those investments every day. So that's why Valentine's Day doesn't hold as much, you know, it's not as high stakes for us. So that's a positive. I take that as a positive. I like that. So that's my takeaway. What about for you?
My takeaway is that, like, the best gifts are not like jewelry or lingerie or lavish dinners. It's really about like investing in the way, like the words that you want to exchange with your partner. Because like everything we talked about, like the voucher, the letter, even the mixtape, like lyrics or words, right? And the fantasy jar, it's all about like writing or communicating to your partner something about the way you feel towards them.
Yeah.
So really, like, what holds the most weight, what's the greatest, the knowledge of how you feel about them, what makes them special to you.
You know what happened, Marina? We lost you there for a second on this call. Can you say that part again?
Where did I get cut off? The greatest. So the greatest gift is essentially, you know, expressing to your partner the way you feel about them.
Yeah.
And doing that in a creative way is really what makes it special.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. You think they're ready?
I think so.
Well, we wish you all luck.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. connect with us, join our Facebook group, and let us know how your Valentine's Day went, and let us know what kind of Valentine's Day gifts you exchanged, because we'd love to hear, right? And if you have any other awesome ideas, let us know. We'd love to know. Well, that's all that we have for you today. We hope that you take these tips and start using them right away. And like I said, we'd love to continue the conversation with you in our Facebook group, where we do tips, tricks, live streams. You can connect with us. You can post us questions. We're on there all the time. Facebook.com/groups/Simply Great Relationships is where you can find us on Facebook, or you can go to our website, simplygreatrelationships.com, and find the Facebook icon there. Again, we would love to connect with you. We wish you a wonderful Valentine's Day, and a great relationship the rest 364 days of the year.
Definitely. All right. Bye.
Bye.